Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Legal Tings. Today we're talking about 7 things you should think about before suing someone. If someone has caused you to suffer injury or financial loss and you're thinking of suing them, there are many things you need to carefully think about when deciding whether it's worthwhile to invest the time, effort, and money to do so. Here are 8 things you should definitely think about. Number 1, do you have a contract with the other person that allows you to sue them in Singapore in the first place? If you're suing over a breach of contract, your contract may actually say that any disputes arising out of or in relation to that contract must be handled according to the laws and in the courts or legal system of a particular country or jurisdiction. So you'll need to check that your contract actually allows you to handle the dispute relating to the contract in Singapore or according to Singapore law and in the Singapore courts and legal system. Number 2, is there a cheaper or faster way to resolve your dispute with the other person other than by suing them? There are alternatives to resolve disputes without going to court or suing them through what can be a long, drawn-out and possibly expensive court battle. Some examples include mediation, which is a process where a neutral third party facilitates communication between the parties to reach a mutually agreed upon solution, and negotiation, where the persons involved in the dispute, sometimes with the help of their respective lawyers, directly communicate and work together in a collaborative or cooperative manner to reach a compromise and settlement. These alternatives can often be quicker and cheaper than going to court. Number 3, do you have a valid claim against the other person, and will starting the claim unintentionally force him to bring a counterclaim against you? It's important to check the validity as well as the strengths and weaknesses of your own potential claim before starting legal action, because it may help avoid potential legal issues and complications for yourself. In some cases, starting a claim may actually trigger a counterclaim from the other person, which can lead to you spending additional time and expenses in defending the counterclaim against you. By engaging a lawyer to conduct a proper and careful assessment of your case, you can find out whether you have a valid claim, what your chances of success are, and what potential consequences there may be. You should ideally have a lawyer look at your case before you file it to make sure that you have a reasonable chance of success in court in the very first place. Number 4, does the person you're suing have the financial means to prolong the legal dispute in court? It's important to assess this before taking legal action, because pursuing a lawsuit can be a time-consuming and expensive process, and checking this can help you avoid costly and time-consuming disputes that may not actually have a satisfactory outcome. If the person you're suing has substantial financial means, he may be able to prolong the legal dispute by appealing the decision or dragging the case out in court, and if this happens, then the costs and time needed to resolve the dispute may actually outweigh the potential benefits. Number 5, can you afford to lose the case? No matter how strong a claim you may feel you have, success is never guaranteed. You need to think not just of the money you stand to win, but also consider how much more you stand to lose in terms of spending on your own legal fees or having to bear the cost of the winning person's legal fees if you are ultimately unsuccessful. Number 6, does the person you're suing actually have enough money or assets to be used to compensate you? If the person you're suing has limited or no financial resources, for example, if he's a bankrupt or the company is insolvent, it may be difficult or impossible to collect a judgment even if you win the case. This means that the time and money you've invested in the lawsuit may not ultimately result in you getting any actual compensation. If he owns assets, you may be able to enforce your award by getting a court order to direct the sale of these assets to pay your debt. But you need to be aware that this enforcement process in itself will incur additional legal fees. There is little point in suing him if you can't actually obtain any compensation from him if you win. Number 7, if you win, will there be much money left after you've paid your own legal fees? try to get a rough estimate from your lawyer of the range of the total legal fees to bring a case all the way through a trial to enforcing an award. Then compare this with the amount you are actually suing for. If that amount is so low that there's not much left after deducting those legal fees, consider whether this remainder is worth the time and effort you may need to put in over the next year or two to actually get the money to sue. Suing someone is not only about having a strong case against them. If you choose to sue them, your decision should be carefully thought through to take into account financial, strategic, and pragmatic considerations. So, now you know. If you've enjoyed listening to this and would like to hear more, subscribe wherever you like to listen to podcasts and follow me on TikTok and Instagram. And remember, it's not rocket science, it's just legal things.